In this class, we're going to go over past exam question on this concept, sort. Okay, let's consider the question that we have on the board. We are asked to simplify the following. The first question, 3 root 5 plus 4 root 6 all over 2 root 2 multiplied by 3 root 3. All these sort that you see here are known as mixed sort, you understand, because all of them contains a rational part and the irrational part, you understand. So now when you are taking the product of two sorts, it is the rational parts that are going to multiply each other and the irrational part are going to multiply each other. Do you understand? Okay, let's look at the numerator. For the numerator, we have 3 root 5 multiplied by 4 root 6. It is this 3 that you see here that will multiply the 4, and root 5 will multiply root 6. Do you understand? Okay, because the rational part of this sort is what? Is 3, and the irrational part of this sort is what? Root 5. While the rational part of this sort is 4, and the irrational part is root 6. So for this, I'm going to have 3 times 4 multiplied by root 5 times root 6. Do you understand? Okay, now for the denominator, we have 2 root 2 times 3 root 3. Let's proceed like we did for the numerator. The rational part, which is 2, will multiply 3. So I'm going to have 2 times 3 multiplied by, and then the irrational part, which is root 2, will multiply root 3 as well. So I'm going to have root 2 times root 3. Root 2 multiplied by root 3. So for this, I'm going to have 3 times 4 is 12. So I'm going to have 12 multiplied by root 5 times root 6. That is what? Root 30. So I'm going to have 1 over root 30. And for this denominator, we are going to have 2 times 3, that is 6. 6 multiplied by root 2 times root 3, that will give us root 6. So I'm going to have this over root 6. Okay. Now the final answer will be 12 root 30. 12 root 30 all over 6 root 6. Okay. You can still simplify this because, 12 can be divided by 6. So 12 divided by 6 will give us 2. So I'm going to have 2 root 30 all over root 6. Do you understand? Okay, we see 2 root 30 all over root 6. We can still simplify this sort. I taught you rationalization of sort in our previous class. So let's go. For this, I'm going to have, let's just proceed like this. 2 root 30 all over root 6 multiplied by root 6 all over root 6. You see, what I want to do now is that I want to rationalize this sort, okay? I start from here, you understand? I first take the product of the numerator and the denominator, so I got 2 root 30 over root 6. But this sort can still be simplified by rationalizing it. Are you getting it? And that's what I'm doing now. If you want to rationalize the sort, you just have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the sort that you have at the denominator, okay? This root 6 is a sort. Are you getting it? So, in an attempt to help me to rationalize this, I'm going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by this root 6, okay? So, for this, I'm going to have 2 root 30 multiplied by root 6 all over root 6 times root 6, okay? Now, 2 root 30 times 6 all over root 6 times root 6, that is what? 6, right? Because root 6 times root 6 will give us what? Root 36, okay? That is root 36. And root 36 is what? That is 6, okay? So let us proceed. For this, I'm going to have 2 root 180 all over 6. Now, can we still reduce this? Let us see. 2 here, 1. 2 in there, 3. I'm going to have root 280 root 280 all over 3. Root 280 can be written as root 36 times 5 all over 3. You understand? So I'm going to have root 36 times 5. Root 36 is what? Okay, root 36 times root 5. You see, all these things I'm doing here, we have already done this the basics in our previous class. So if you missed the class, kindly check the link in the description of this video to watch the class, okay? So root 36 times 5 can be written as root 36 times root 5, okay? So this over 3, root 36 is what? That is 6. I'm going to have 6 root 5 all over 3. 6 root 5 all over 3. Now we can still simplify. 3 here 1, here 2. I'm going to have 2 root 5, which is the final answer. Do you understand? Okay, so the simplification of this will give us 2 root 5. Okay, now you see this method that I used is a bit long. If you are solving this in objective, when you got here, you can rewrite this 2 root 30. Listen, when you got here, you can rewrite this 2 root 30 over root 6 as 2 root 30 all over 6. Root 30 all over 6 is what? 30 divided by 6 will give us 5. So I'm going to have 2 root 5. You can see now we got the same answer. Like when you got to this point, even without rationalizing, the reason why I go the long way is because I want you to revise. I want to revisit what we learned in our previous class. Do you understand? That's why I actually take into consideration. That's why I rationalize. Okay. Without rationalizing, you can actually divide root 30 over root 6, okay? That is root 30 over 6, that is 5, and we are going to arrive at the same answer like what we have here. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed to the next question. We have root 2 minus root 3 all over root 2 plus root 3 squared. We are asked to simplify this. Okay? To simplify this question, let us first deal with the squared, okay? Let's deal with the square first. Root 2 minus root 3 all over root 2 plus root 3. Then we have square here. Now, if we have, please listen, a plus b squared, that can be written as a plus b multiplied by a plus b. So, for this, I'm going to have root 2 minus root 3 squared all over root 2 plus root 3 squared. Are you getting it? Now, let us expand the bracket. I'm going to have root 2 minus root 3 multiplied by root 2 minus root 3. Just like this identity that I wrote here, okay? So, all over root 2 plus root 3 multiplied by root 2 plus root 3. Do you understand? Now let us proceed. Root 2 times root 2, that is what? The root of 4. Root 2 times minus root 3, that is what? Minus root 6, okay? Minus root 3 times root 2, that is what? Minus root 6 as well. Minus root 3 times minus root 3, that is what? Plus root 9, okay? All over. Now look at the denominator. We have root 2 times root 2, that is what? Root 4, okay? Root 2 times root 3, that is what? Plus root 6, right? Plus root 3 times plus root 2, that is what? Plus root 6. Then for the last one, we have plus root 3 times plus root 3 plus root 9. Let's simplify. Root 4 is 2, yes. Minus root 6 minus root 6. What will be the answer? That will be what? Minus 2 root 6. It's just as if having minus x, that is what? Minus 2x. Do you understand? So minus root 6 will give us minus 2 root 6. Okay? Then we have plus 9 plus root 9. Root 9 is what? 3. So I'm going to have plus 3 all over root of 4 will give us 2 plus root 6 will give us plus 2 root 6. Do you understand? And then we have plus root 9. Plus root 9 will as well give us plus 3, okay? Because root 9 will give us 3. Now, let's proceed. 2 plus 3, that is what? 5. So, I'm going to have, okay, let me erase this. So, for this, I'm going to have 2 plus 3 is 5. I'm going to have 5 plus, okay, 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 minus 2 root 6 minus 2 root 6 all over. Now we have 2 plus root 2 root 6 plus 3. 2 plus 3 will give us 5. So I'm going to have all over 5. Then we have a positive 2 root 6 here. I'm going to have plus 2 root 6. Do you understand? So we have expanded what we have here. We have already expanded. Now, having expanded this, please pay attention. Having expanded this, we can still proceed to simplify. This is not the final answer, okay? We just perform the operation of the square. We have not done what we are asked to do. Are you getting it? We are asked to simplify. To simplify means that we should write this in simple terms, okay? Now, that means that I'm going to rationalize, okay? And to rationalize the surd, I'm going to take the conjugate of the denominator. The denominator is what? 5 plus 2 root 6, okay? Now, if I take the conjugate, I'm going to have 5 minus 2 root 6, okay? It is this conjugate that I'm going to multiply by both the numerator and the denominator of the surd, okay? So, for this, I'm going to have 5 minus 2 root 6 all over 5 plus 2 root 6 multiplied by 5 minus 2 root 6 all over 5 minus 2 root 6, okay? If you are part of our class, of our previous class, you should be able to solve this question, okay? Because I taught you how to take the conjugate of a surd. Are you getting it? Now, 5 minus 2 root 6 multiplied by 5 minus 2 root 6 all over 5 plus 2 root 6 multiplied by 5 minus 2 root 6. 5 times 5 is 25. Yes? 5 times negative 2 root 6, that is what? Minus 10 root 6. Then minus 2 root 6 times 5, that is what? Minus 10 root 6, Abi. Then minus 2 root 6 times minus 2 root 6, that is what? Plus 4 root 36, okay? All over 5 times 5 is also what? 25, yes. 5 times 2, negative 2 root 6, that is what? Minus 10 root 6. 2 root 6 times 5, that is what? Plus 10 root 6, yes. Plus 2 root 6 times minus 2 root 6, that is what? Minus 4 root of 36, okay? 25 minus 10 root 6 minus 10 root 6, that is what? Minus 20 root 6, okay? Plus 4 multiplied by root of 36. The root of 36 is what? 6. I'm going to have plus 4 times 6. Okay, and 4 times 6 will give us what? 24. Okay, so I'm going to have 24 here. 24. Okay, now all over 25. Yes, minus 10 root 6 plus 10 root 6, that is what? You cancel each other. Then we have minus 4 times root 36. Root 36 will give us 6. Minus 4 times 6 will give us what? Minus 24. I'm going to have minus 24. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed. 25 plus 24. Listen to me. We want to simplify this. Listen, we want to simplify the denominator now, okay? 25 plus 24, that is what? 49. I'm going to have 49 minus 20 root 6, okay? Now, 25 minus 24, that is 1, okay? So this over 1. 29 minus 20 root 6 over 1 will still give us 49 minus 20 root 6, which is the final answer, okay? So you can see that before I rationalize, I first simplify the square, okay? I first eliminate the square by expanding this bracket, and I arrive at this. Steps. Then I told you that this square can be written as this. Then I take the product. Then I obtain this. Then it is then that I rationalize by taking the conjugate of the denominator and multiplying it by both the numerator and the denominator. Then I simplify to get this 49 minus 20 root 6. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to the second question. Okay, let's attempt the next question. We have 3 root 5, okay, 3 root 75 minus root 12 plus root 108. We are asked to simplify this. Now, listen to me. To simplify this, you have to express this in the simplest term. The first step is that you have to deal with the radicals, okay? The radicals of this sort is root 75, and we have root 12, and we also have negative root 12, we have what? Then root 108. Now let's deal with the radicals. For this, I'm going to have 3 root 75 can be written as what? Root 25 times 3, okay? You can check. 25 times 3 gives us 75, you understand? So it can be written as that. Now, and then root 12 can be written as what? Root 4 times 3. So I'm going to have minus root 4 multiplied by 3. And then root 108 can be written as 36 times 3. Like 108 can be written as 36 times 3. So I'm going to have root 36 times 3. Okay? Now, listen. Root 25 times 3 can be written as root, 3 times root 25 times root 3 minus, now root 4 times 3 can be written as root 4 multiplied by root 3. Don't forget the identity that I taught you in the first class on this topic, sort. Don't forget that. Now, root 4 times root 3. Then for the last one, we are going to have root 3 times root 36. Okay? Now, 3 times root 3, that's what? 3 root 3. 3 root 3. Then root 25 will give us 5 times 5. Minus root 4. Root 4 is 2. So I'm going to have minus 2 times root 3. Minus 2 times root 3 plus, okay, root 36 will give us 6. So I'm going to have plus 6 root 3, okay? Do you understand? Now, 5 times 3 is what? 15. I'm going to have 15 root 3 minus 2 root 3 plus 6 root 3, okay? Now, listen to me carefully. We can add and subtract this sort. The reason is because the irrational parts are the same, okay? So we can add and subtract them. 15 root 3 minus 2 root 3. What will be the answer? That is what? 13 root 3, okay? So I'm going to have 13. Okay, let's do it using board maths, okay? Let us first add 15 root 3 plus 6 root 3. What will be the answer? That will be what? 21 root 3, right? So I'm going to have 21 root 3 minus 2 root 3. 21 root 3 minus 2 root 3, that is what? 19 root 3, which is the solution to that question, okay? So you can see how I simplified it. I first rewrite the irrational part, you understand? I write the irrational part as the largest squared. So having done that, I simplify it. And I discovered that when I got here, they both have the same, all the terms has the same irrational part. It's just as if having 15x minus 2x plus 6x. You can easily add this and subtract them from each other. The reason is because they both have 15x. They both have the same, they both are on all the terms has the value of x. So it's likewise for this as well. 15 root 3 minus 2 root 3 plus 6 root 3 will give us 19 root 3, okay? So that is the solution to that question. Now, this is the fourth question. Root 5 plus 1 over root 5 minus 1 over root 25. I want you to attend the question by yourself. Attend the question. Then, when you are done, you check the solution. In this class, we are going to go over practice question on sort. Okay, let's consider the question that we have on the board. We are asked to simplify the following. Let's start with the first question. We have 1 over root 2 plus 3 root 2 minus 1 over 3 root 2. Okay, before we can solve this question, I'm very sure you are part of our previous class, that is how to rationalize a sort. Okay, because we are going to be using the concept here. We're going to rationalize the fraction. Are you getting it? The fraction that we have here that have a rational part at the denominator. Listen to me carefully. This is a fraction. 1 over root 2 is a fraction, as well as negative 1 over 3 root 2 is a fraction. So this fraction has an irrational part at the denominator. The irrational part is root 2, while the irrational part of this is also root 2. Are you getting it? So in an attempt to help us to solve this, to simplify this question, we have to rationalize individual fraction. Are you getting it? So for this, the first question we have 1 over root 2 plus 3 root 2 minus 1 over 3 root 2. 3 root 2. Are you there? Okay, now let us rationalize this. If I want to rationalize 1 over root 2, I'm going to have 1 over root 2 multiplied by root 2 over root 2. Do you know what I did? All I did was that, and this is what I did. If you want to rationalize this fraction, you multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the irrational, by what you have at the denominator. I get what I'm trying to say. So for this, I'm going to have root 2 times 1 multiplied by root 2 times 2. The goals of rationalizing this fraction is that I want to have an integer at the denominator. You understand? I want to have a rational number at the denominator. Are you getting it? So that is the reason why I rationalize. And if I have a rational number at the denominator, I can easily simplify. Do you understand? Okay. So let me put this bracket. Now let's proceed. Plus 3 root 2 minus 1 over 3 root 2. Now, because I have an irrational fraction, I have an irrational part at the denominator, so I'm going to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 3 root 2. Do you understand? Okay, so for this, I'm going to have multiply 3 root 2 all over 3 root 2. Do you understand? Okay, so having gotten to this point, let us simplify. Root 2 times 1 is what? Root 2. Root 2 all over root 2 times root 2, root 4, right? So the square root of 4 is what? 2. So I'm going to have root 2 over 2 plus 3 root 2 minus, now let's proceed. 3 root 2 times 1 is what? 3 root 2, right? So I'm going to have 3 root 2 here all over. Now let's proceed. 3 root 2 times 3 root 2. In our previous class, I taught you how to take the product of two surds. This sword that you see here is a mixed sword. The reason why it is a mixed sword is because it has both rational part and the irrational part. The rational part of this sword is what? 3. So it is the rational part. Are you getting it? The rational part will multiply the rational part. Why the irrational part will also multiply the irrational part. So the rational part here is 3 and this is also 3. So 3 times 3 is what? 9, right? So I'm going to have 9 multiplied by, now root 2 times root 2, that will what? Root 4. And the square root of 4 is what? 2. So I'm going to have 9 times 2, which is what? 18. Do you understand? Okay, so for this, I'm going to have this over 18. Now, we can still, you can see that by rationalizing individual fraction, I have a rational number at the denominator, this 2 and this 18. So for this, I'm going to have root 2 all over 2 plus 3 root 2 minus, now let us divide. 3 here 1, 3 in 18, that is 6, root 2 all over 6. Okay, now having gotten to this point, we can now take the LCM of this fraction. Let us say this over 1. Are you getting it? 3 root 2 over 1 is only the same thing as 3 root 2. So now, using board math, we have to first deal with the fraction that has an addition sign in between them. So this is root 2 over 2 plus 3 root 2 over 1. So the LCM of both fraction is 2. So I'm going to have 2 here. 2 divided by 2 is what? 1. 1 times root 2 is what? Root 2. Are you there? Plus 2 divided by 1 is what? 2. 2 times 3 root 2, that is what? 6 root 2. Do you understand? Okay. Minus root 2 all over 6. Do you understand? Okay. Root 2 plus 6 root 2. What will be the answer? Okay. Let's start. If you have x plus 6x, what will be the answer? That is what? 7x, right? So root 2 plus 6 root 2 will give us 7 root 2. So I'm going to have 7 root 2 all over 2 minus root 2 all over 6. Do you understand? Okay, so having gotten it here, we have to take the LCM again. Okay, take the LCM of 7 root 2 over 2 minus root 2 all over 6. The LCM is 6, right? Yes. So let me erase this. The LCM is 6, so I'm going to have this all over 6. 6 divided by 2, that is 3. I'm coming. 6 divided by 2, that is 3. 3 times 7 with 2, that will be what? 21 with 2. So I'm going to have 21 with 2. Okay. 6 divided by 6, that is 1. 1 times negative with 2, that is what? Minus with 2. Okay. So for this, 21 with 2 minus with 2, that is what? 20 with 2. So I'm going to have 20 with 2 all over 6. Okay, we can still reduce this fraction because 10 can divide both 20 and 6. So, 2 can divide both 20. 20 divided by 2 is what? 10. 10 with 2. Then 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. So the final answer is 10 with 2 all over 3. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the solution to that question. If you have any question, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so the simplified version of this question is what? 10 with 2 all over 3. Now let me give you an hint. Anytime you are asked to simplify a sodic expression of this type, you can see that first deal with the irrational part. I get what I'm trying to say. If you have an irrational part at the denominator, first rationalize it so as to make the work easier. Let us proceed to the second question. We are asked to simplify root 32 all over 2 minus root 18 plus root 2. Okay, we have root 32 all over 2 minus root 18 plus root 2. Okay, to simplify this, you can see that this one, we didn't have an irrational part at the denominator, you understand? So all you have to do is that just express 32 as the product of its largest square. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Express 32 as the product of its largest square, and also express 18 as the product of its largest square. Are you getting it? Let me give you a hint. You see, we have root 2 here. The simple sort in this question is root 2. So what can we multiply by 32 and that will give us, what number can we multiply by 2 that will give us 32? Are you getting it? And what number can we multiply by 2 that will give us 18? Are you getting it? You see, I'm just giving you a hint. The simplest sort in this expression is root 2. Are you getting it? So because the simplest sort is root 2, so just think of a number that if you multiply it by 2, you're going to have 32. And if you multiply it by 2, you're going to have 18. Let's start. 9 times 2 will give us 18. While 16 times 2 will give us 32. So I can express 32 as this. Root of 32 can be written as root 16 times 2 over 2 minus 18. Root 18 can be written as root 9 times 2 plus root 2. Are you getting it? So you can see how I got that. Root of 16 is what? 4. So I'm going to have 4 root 2. Do you know I got 4 root 2? Let's go. Root 16, if you are part of our previous class, you shouldn't find this hard to comprehend. Okay? Root 16 times 2, root 16 times 2 can be written as root 16 multiplied by root 2, you know? So root 16 is what? 4. And root 2, 4 times root 2 gives us what? 4 root 2. Are you getting it? Likewise, root 9 times 2 can be written as root 9 multiplied by root 2. Let me first deal with this. This over 2 minus, okay, root 9 is what? 3. 3 root 2 all over what? All over 1, okay? Plus root 2. Do you understand how I got this? Just express root 9 times 2 as this, just like what I did here, okay? Root 9 will give us 3, and root 2, because it's the simplest sort, so I just have to put it there. 3 times root 2 will give me what? 3 root 2. Are you getting it? So, having gotten to this point, you can take the LCM. Let's first deal with the this fraction that you have here. Are you getting it? The LCM is 1. 3 root 2 plus root 2. Are you getting it? Minus 4 root 2 all over 2. Even 4, 2 here, 1, 2 here. Sorry. 4 divided by 2 will give us 2. So I'm going to have 2 root 2. Okay? Even without taking the LCM, you can actually simplify it. Okay? Yes, you can simplify it without taking the LCM, because I thought I didn't focus on this. 4 divided by 2 will give us 2. Are you getting it? So I have 2 root 2 here. So even without taking the LCM, you can proceed as follows. Negative 3 root 2 plus root 2. What's the answer? That will give us what? Negative 2 root 2. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 root 2 minus, 2 root 2 minus 2 root 2, that is what? 0. So the answer to this question that we have here is 0. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed to the third question. We are asked to simplify root 43. Okay, let's proceed to the third question. We are asked to simplify the square root of 243 plus 12 over root 3. Square root of 243 plus 12 all over root 3. Now, look at what we have here. We have an irrational part. So, in an attempt to help me to simplify this, to make it more, more simple, just make sure that you just take the rational, you rationalize this fraction. Why? The reason is because we have root 3 here. Are you get what I'm trying to say? We have root 3 at the denominator. So, let us first rationalize 12 over root 3. So, I'm going to have root 243 can be written as what? Root 81 multiplied by 3. Do you know how I knew the numbers that I'm going to multiply by? Do you know why I multiply by 3? The reason is because I have root 3 here. This is the simplest fold. This is the simplest sort in this expression. Are you getting it? Listen to me. Anytime you are dealing with sort question, listen. It might not always be the case, but anytime you have a sort question and you discover that you have a simplest sort among the expression that you're asked to simplify, all you have to do now is that just focus on the number. That is 3, right? The numbers inside the square root, that is 3. Now, what can I multiply by 3 to give me 243? That is 81. Are you getting it? So just think it like that. Now, let us rationalize 12 over root 3. I'm going to have 12 all over root 3 multiplied by root 3 all over root 3. Do you understand? Okay, so root of 81 times 3. Square root of 81 will give me 9. So I'm going to have 9. Square root of 3 will give me square root of 3. Because we don't want the extrema. Plus, okay, 12 times 3. 12 times root 3, that is what? 12 root 3. And then root 3 times root 3, that will give us root 9. Square root of 9 is what? 3. Do you understand? Okay, so I'm going to have 9 root 3 plus, now 3 here, 12 divided by 3 will give us what? 4. I'm going to have 4 root 3. Do you understand? Okay, 9 root 3 plus 4 root 3, that will give us 13 root 3, which is the final answer. Okay, if you got that as your final answer, you are correct. But if you didn't, that means you are wrong. Okay, so let us proceed to the next question. We have 2 root 3 minus 6 root 2 root 3 minus 6 over root 3 plus 3 over root 7. Okay, now to simplify this question, you have to rationalize individual fraction. The reason is because this 6 over root 3, it has an irrational part at the denominator, which is root 3. While the second fraction which we have here, 3 over root 7, it also contains an irrational part at the denominator. So to solve this question, we have to first rationalize. Root 3 minus 6 over root 3 plus 3 over root 7. Now let us rationalize. I'm going to have 2 root 3 minus 6 over root 3 multiplied by root 3 all over root 3, put this in brackets, plus 3 over root 7 multiplied by root 7 all over root 7. Okay, do you understand? Okay, listen. If you missed our previous class, you can check the link in the description of this video to watch those classes. Okay, so to help you to understand this concept solved. Do you understand? Okay, for this I'm going to have 2 root 3 minus 6 root 3 all over root 3 times root 3 is what? Root 9. So I'm going to have 3 here because the square root of 9 will give us 3. So I'm going to have plus 3 root 7, because 3 times root 7 will give us what? 3 root 7. Root 7 times root 7 is what? Root 49. The square root of 49 will give us 7. So I'm going to have this over 7. Okay, let's proceed. For this, I'm going to have 2 root 3 minus 2 root 3. The reason is because 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. So I'm going to have minus 2 root 3 here, plus 3 root 7 all over 7. Do you understand? Okay, 2 root 3 minus 2 root 3 is what? 0. Okay, hence the final answer is 3 root 7 all over 7. That is the solution to that question. Now, if you come across this kind of question in exam, I'm very sure you can simplify it now. Okay, so let's do a recap of what we learned in this class. If you're asked to simplify a such question that contains an irrational part at the denominator, the best way to do that is that you first have to rationalize the fraction. Are you getting it? Okay, let's consider the following question unsolved. We are asked to simplify 2 root 3 minus 6 over root 3 plus 3 over root 3. How do you simplify this sort? Well, to simplify this sort, you have to rationalize any fraction that you discover that the denominator has an irrational part. Okay, let me go over it again. To simplify this sort, you are asked to reduce this to the simplest term, and to do that, you have to rationalize any fraction that the denominator contains an irrational part. For example, this is not a fraction, but the second term that we have here, 6 over root 3, is a fraction, and the root 3 is the irrational part of this fraction. So we need to rationalize this. Also, this 3 over 3 root 3 contains an irrational part in the denominator. So before we can do anything, we have to rationalize it. Okay, so let's go. For this, I'm going to have 2 root 3. 2 root 3 minus 6 over root 3 multiplied by root 3 all over root 3 plus 3 over 3 root 3 multiplied by 3 root 3 all over 3 root 3. Do you know what I did? I just multiply both the numerator and the denominator by what I have at the denominator. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? If you are part of our previous class on rationalization of sort, you should be able to solve this. So, to help me to simplify this, I need to rationalize it. And the goal is that I want to make the denominator an integer. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? I want to make the denominator of both fraction a rational number or an integer that doesn't contain square roots. Are you getting it? So by so doing, I have to multiply both the numerator by what I have at the denominator. Do you understand? Okay, so let me put a bracket here. Now, for this, I'm going to have 2 root 3 minus 6 root 3 all over. Now, root 3 times root 3 will give me root 9. And the square root of 9 will give us 3. So I'm going to have over 3 plus. Now, 3 times 3 root 3. You see, this is a rational number. 3 is a rational number because it doesn't have a square root. So 3, this rational part, this 3 that you have here, this 3 will multiply this 3. Are you getting it? You know, in our previous class, we learned the product of a sword, like how to take the product of a sword. When you are taking the product of a sword, the rational part, that part that doesn't cover, that is not covered with square root, we have to multiply the other part that is not covered with square root. And if you look at both 3 and 3 root 3, you can see that 3 we multiply 3. This 3 will multiply this 3. The reason is because this 3 is a rational part and it's not covered with square root. Okay, so 3 times 3 is what? 9. So I'm going to have 9 root 3. Let me change the marker here. So I'm going to have 9 root 3 all over 3 root 3 times 3 root 3. This 3 will multiply this 3. I'm going to have 9. Now root 3 will multiply root 3. That is what? Root 9. And the square root of 9 will give us what? 3. So I'm going to have times 3. 9 times 3 is what? 27. So I'm going to have 27 at the denominator here. Do you understand? Okay. Now, having gotten to this point, the next step is that you can divide this 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. That's 2 root 3 minus 2 root 3. Because 6 divided by 3 will give us 2. So I'm going to have 2 root 3 here plus Okay, 9 here 1, 27 divided by 9, that is what? 3. So I'm going to have root 3 all over 3. Now 2 root 3 minus 2 root 3, that is what? 0. This will give me 0. So the final answer to this question is root 3 all over 3. That is the correct answer. Okay, I'm very sure you can you understand how I simplify the sort. The first step is that I first rationalize the fraction. The reason is because I have an irrational part at the denominator of both fractions. So having rationalized it, I obtain this and I simplify, I got this, and this minus this will give me 0. So I'm left with 3 over 3. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed to the second question. We have 6 over root of 48 minus root 3. Okay, now please listen to me carefully. Anytime you are dealing with such question, if you discover that in the question that you are asked to simplify, you have a simple sort, are you getting it? For example, root 3 is a simple sort because it cannot be simplified to get a rational, it cannot be simplified to get an integer. If you take the square root of 3, you are going to have the decimal. Are you getting it? So root 3 is a simple sort because it cannot be further simplified to get a rational number or an integer. So that means that root 3 is the simplest sort in this question. So that means that I'm going to look for what I can multiply by 3 to get 48. Listen to me carefully. This is what I'm trying to say. You have to express the square root of, to solve this question, this second question, you have to express the square root of 48 as its largest square. Are you getting it? And because I have root 3 here, that means I'm going to look for something that I can multiply by 3 to give me 48. And what will that be? That will be 16. You understand? So let us proceed. For the second question, we have 6 over the square root of 48 minus root 3. Okay? Square root of 48 can be written as square root of 16 multiplied by 3. Are you getting it? So I'm going to have minus root 3. Do you understand? Okay? 6 over square root of 16 times square root of 3. Do you know? Minus root 3. Okay? Square root of 16 will give us 4. So I'm going to have 6 over 4 times root 3. I'm going to have 4 root 3 minus root 3. Do you understand? Okay? I can still reduce this because 2 can divide 6. 6 divided by 2 will give me 3. I'm going to have 3 here. And 4 divided by 2 will give me what? That is 2. 2 root 3 minus root 3. This is not the final answer. Why? The reason is because I have to rationalize. This is not the simplified version of this question. Do you know the meaning of simplification? You have to reduce the fraction from the complex form to the simplest form. That's it. So 3 over 2 root 3 multiplied by 2 root 3 all over 2 root 3 minus root 3. Okay? So 3 times 2 root 3, that is what? 6 root 3 all over 2 root 3 times 2 root 3, that is what? 2 times 2, 4. I'm going to have 4 multiplied by root 3 times root 3, that is what? Root 9. And square root of 9 will give me what? 3. So I'm going to have this over 3. 4 times 3 rather, minus root 3. Okay? 6 root 3 all over 12 minus root 3. Okay? Now pay attention. 6 here 1, I'm going to have root 3 all over. Now 12 divided by 6 is what? 2. So I'm going to have root 3 over 2 minus root 3. Okay? Now we can take the LCM. The LCM of this is 2. So I'm going to have 2 divided by 2 is what? 1. 1 times root 3 is what? Root 3. Is that not it? 2 divided by 1 is 2. 2 times root 3, that is what? Minus 2 root 3. Okay? Now root 3 minus 2 root 3, that is what? Minus root 3 all over 2. Do you know I got this? If you have x minus 2x, what's the answer? That is what? Minus x, right? So that's how I got this, okay? Root 3 minus 2 root 3 will give us minus root 3 all over 2. Do you understand? Okay, so that is the simplification of that question. Okay, I want to attempt the third question. That is root 63 minus root 28 all over root 7 by yourself. I want to try it, okay? Try that question and tell me your answer in the comment section. Okay, or you should pause this video, then try the question. When you are done, then you tell me your answer in the comment section. Do you understand? Let's proceed to the third question. We are asked to simplify root 63 minus root 28 all over root 7. Okay, root 63, the square root of 63 minus the square root of 28 all over root of 7. To simplify this, the simple surd, listen to me carefully, the simple surd among all these surd is what? Root 7. Are you getting it? So what can I multiply by 7 that is going to give me 63? And what can I multiply by 7 that is going to give me 28? That's what I'm looking for now. So if you check, you will discover that if you multiply 9 by 7, you're going to have 63. So I can rewrite 63 as 9 times 7. Are you getting it? The square root of 9 times 7 minus the square root of, okay, what can I multiply by 7 to give me 28? That will give me 4. Are you getting it? So I can rewrite the square root of 28 as the square root of 4 times 7. Are you getting it? All over root 7. Do you understand? Okay, the square root of 9 times 7 is what? The square root of 9 times the square root of 7. And the square root of 9 is what? 3. So I'm going to have 3 root 7 here minus the square root of 4 times the square root of 7 is what? Square root of 4 will give me 2. So I'm going to have multiply 2 root 7 all over root 7. Okay, so 3 root 7 minus 2 root 7 will give me what? Root 7. You see, when you are taking the differences or addition of sort, you have to pay attention to the irrational part. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? The reason why this sort the reason why we can take the difference of this sort is because they both have the same irrational part, which is root 7. Okay, let's assume that I have root 6 here. It is impossible to subtract the sort. Okay, let's say we have root 6. It's not possible to subtract this, but because we have the same irrational part, which is root 7, that means we can take the difference. Okay, 3 root 7 minus 2 root 7 will give me root 7. So I'm going to have root 7 all over root 7. Root 7 divided by root 7 is what? That is 1. So the solution to that question is 1. Okay, so we have the fourth question here. 20 over 5 root 28 minus 2 root 63. Okay, 20 over 5, 20 all over 5 root of 28 minus 2 root of 63. Okay, now how do we simplify this sort? You see, let me tell you, when you are simplifying this sort, always focus on the, like, if you want to express 28 now, what is the largest square? Are you going to say what is the largest square of 28? That if you take the product of the largest square and the particular number is going to give you 28. That's it. Are you getting it? Now the same is 4. Are you getting it? Because 4 times 7 will give us 28. So I can rewrite this. I can rewrite the question as 20 all over 5 multiplied by the square root of 4 times 7 minus 2 multiplied by the square root of 9 times 7. Okay, because 9 times 7 will give us 63. Okay, are you paying attention? In sort, listen to me. In sort, if you want to simplify a sort, you must be able to think of a number. For example, let's say root of 63. You want to simplify root of 63. You must be able to think of a number that the largest square multiplied by a certain number will give us 63. You understand? That is, the square of the number multiplied by a certain number will give us 63. For example, we have 9. 9 can be written as well, 3 raised to the power of 2, right? So that means 9 times 7 and it will give us 63. So that's why I use this. There are many other numbers that if you take their product, you're going to arrive at 63. Example is 63 times 1. You can see, but that one will not be, I won't be able to simplify root of 63 or any other sort if I use that. Are you guys trying to see? This is what I'm emphasizing on. When you are expressing a sort in the simplest form, it is very important that you pay attention to the product of the number that you choose. Are you getting it? Okay, so I choose 4 and 7 because I knew that I can easily simply take the square root of 4 and I can easily take the square root of 9. Are you getting it? I can easily take the square root of 9 to simplify it, and as well as for 28, I can easily take the square root of 4. Do you understand? Okay, so for this, I'm going to have 20 all over 5 multiplied by square root of 4 is what? 2. I'm going to have 5 times 2 multiplied by, or maybe let's do it step by step. 5 times square root of 4 times square root of 7 minus 2 times square root of 9 times square root of 7. Do you know what I did? I rewrite square root of 9 as square root of 9 times square root of 7. Like, I rewrite square root of 9 times 7 as square root of 9 times square root of 7. Okay? You know, in the properties of sword that we learned in the previous class, I told you that if you have a sword, a two-sword, square root of a, square root of a, b, it can be written as square root of a times the square root of b. Okay? So, it is that properties that I used here. Okay? So, I have 20 over this. Now, let's proceed. I'm going to have 20 all over 5 times root 7. No, 5 times root 4. Root of 4 is what? 2. I'm going to have 5 times 2 times root 7. Are you there? Minus 2 times 3 times root 7. The reason is simply because square root of 9 will give me 3. So I'm going to have 20 all over 5 times 2 is 10. So I'm going to have 10 root 7 minus 2 times 3 is what? 6. Minus 6 root 7. Okay? So I'm going to have 20 all over 10 root 7 minus 6 root 7. What's the answer? That is what? 4 root 7. So I'm going to have 4 root 7 here. Okay? Now, having gotten to this point, listen to me carefully. You can still simplify because 20 divided by 4 will give me 5. So I'm going to have 5 all over root 7. Okay? That is not the final answer. The final, because you have a rational part at the denominator, you have to take the, you have to rationalize the sword. Are you getting it? Because you have an irrational part at the denominator, which is root 7, you have to rationalize the sword. So for this, I'm going to have, let me just erase this. We have 5 over root 7, 5 over root 7. So to rationalize this sword, I have to multiply both the numerator and the denominator by the irrational part that I have at the denominator, and that is root 7. Okay, so I'm going to have this multiply root 7 and root 7. Okay, 5 times root 7 will give me 5 root 7. Then root 7 times root 7 will give me the square root of 49. The square root of 49 is what? Is 7. So this is 5 root 7 over 7. This is the simplified version of this. If you stop here, you might not even find this kind of options. I mean, this kind of answer in the options. So anytime you're asked to simplify, make sure that you express your answer in the simplest form as much as possible. Okay, so the solution to this is this. So having done the first, second, third, fourth question, if you have more questions, like if you want to practice more questions, you can check the link in the description of this video and you can message me on WhatsApp. Let's consider the question that we have on the board. We are asked to simplify the following question. Root 50 plus 10 over root 2. Let's start with that question. Root 50, the square root of 50 plus 10 all over root 2. What is the simple sword among all these swords? The simplest sword is what? Root 2. So I will think of a number in such a way that if I take the product of that number and 2, I'm going to have 50. So what is that number? That is 25. So I'm going to have 50 can be written as square root of 25 times 2. Please pay attention. It is important that you learn how to think, especially when it comes to simplification of sword. Okay? Looking at the first question here, the simplest sword among this question, in this question is what? Is root 2. So what can I multiply by 2 to give me 50? And that is 25. That's how I got 25 times 2. Because I can express 50 as 25 times 2. And the reason why I choose 25 is because I can easily take the square root of 25. Okay? So for this, I'm going to have plus 10 over root 2. Square root of 25 is what? 5. So I'm going to have square root of 25, that is 5. 25 times square root of 2 plus 10 over root 2. Okay, let us rationalize this second part also. If you want to rationalize 10 over root 2, we are going to have this times root 2 all over root 2, right? That's it. See, if you want to simplify any sort, the first step is that if you have a rational number at the denominator of a fraction, for example, 10 over root 2 is a fraction, so you have to rationalize it, okay? And the goals of rationalizing it is to make the denominator become a rational part. That is a part that doesn't have a square root. Do you understand? Okay? And having known that the square root of 50 can be written as square root of 25 times 2. So if you take the square root of 25, what are you going to have? That is 5. So I'm going to have 5 here. 5 times root 2 will give me 5 root 2 plus. Now, if you take the product of 10 and the square root of 2, you're going to have 10 root 2. So I'm going to have 10 root 2 here, all over. Root 2 times root 2 will give me square root of 4. Square root of 4 is what? 2. So I'm going to have 2 in this place. 5 root 2 plus 10 root 2. Divide 10 by 2. I'm going to have 5 root 2 plus 10 divided by 2 will give me 5. So I'm going to have 5 root 2. 5 root 2 plus 5 root 2, that is what? 10 root 2. That is the final answer, okay? Let's proceed to the second question. We have 2 root 5 plus the square root of 125. Okay? Let me ask you another question. What is the simplest sort in this question? The simplest sort is square root of 5, right? So let us think of a number that if you take the product of that number and 5, you're going to have 125. What is that number? Well, can 20 times 5 give us 125? Absolutely not. Okay, to simplify this, I can express square root of 125 as 2 root 5 plus square root of 25 times 5, right? So 2 root 5 plus square root of 25 times 5 is what? Square root of 25 times the square root of 5. 2 root 5 plus square root of 25 is what? That is 5. So I'm going to have plus 5 times root 5. Okay? 2 root 5 plus 5 root 5. What's the answer? That's what? 7 root 5. That is the solution to that question. Do you understand? Okay, let's proceed to the next question. We are asked to simplify root 2 plus root 3 all over root 3. I can rewrite this as root 2 all over root 3 plus root 3 all over root 3. Do you understand? Okay, I can rewrite this sword as this. So for this, I'm going to have root 2 all over root 3 plus 1, because root 3 over root 3 will give me 1. Now, from this point, I can rationalize this fraction because I have an irrational part at the denominator. So I'm going to have root 2 all over root 3 multiplied by root 3 all over root 3, then plus this 1. Okay, root 2 times root 3 is what? Root 6, right? Yes. Root 3 times root 3 is what? Root 9. So root 9 is what? 3. So I'm going to have root 6 over 3 plus 1. So we can take the LCM. The LCM is 3. So I'm going to have 3 divided by 3 is what? 1. 1 times root 6 is what? Root 6 plus 3 divided by, okay, let me this over 1. 3 divided by 1 is what? 3. 3 times 1 is 3. So I'm going to have 3 plus root 6. 3 plus root 6 all over 3. That is the simplified fraction of this sort. Do you understand? Okay, let us proceed to the last question. That is 2 root 3 multiplied by 3 root 3 minus root 2. All you have to do is that just take the product of what you have here and what you have inside the bracket. So I'm going to have 2 root 3 multiplied by 3 root 3 minus 2. 2 root 3 times 3 root 3, that is what? 2 times 2, these 2 will multiply the rational part of this sword. The rational part of this sword is 3. So 2 times 3 is what? That is 6. Then root 3 times root 3 is what? Root 9. Yes. Now 2 times minus 2, that is what? Minus 4. Then root 3. Okay. So I'm going to have 6 root 9 is what? 6 times 3, because the square root of 9 will give us 3. So I'm going to have 6 times 3 minus 4 root 3. 6 times 3 is 18. So I'm going to have 18 minus 4 root 3. Okay. So that is the simplified version of the surd. Okay. So you can see that it is easy to simplify a surd by rationalizing the fraction that is present in the surd that you are asked to simplify. Okay, and by expressing the surd in the complex and in a surd from the complex form to the simplest form. I get what I'm trying to say, by finding the largest square of its product. So it is easy to simplify the surd. That will be all for this class. If you have any question as regarding what we've learned in this class, let me know in the comment section. Okay, see you in the next class. To watch the complete class, kindly click on the link in the description of this video or the comment section. Okay, see you in the next class.